Hey, I'm Valdewar here for the sporting news to help fans get to know One Championship's newest undefeated prospect, Natalie Salcedo, who makes her one debut at atomweight at One Fight Night 35 on September 5th. So, Natalie, I wanted to start with your journey in combat sports. How'd you get into both jiu-jitsu and MMA, and what made you decide to pursue this professionally?
Yeah, so I started doing jiu-jitsu about 10 years ago and kind of funny story. I had no idea what jiu-jitsu was. I had trained a little bit of Muay Thai when I was younger, when I was a teenager. And that I had no idea what that really was either. Actually, someone just invited me to go to class with them, one of my friends who also trained, and then I got connected with that. But anyways, I started doing jiu-jitsu because I started going to a new gym and I was there for Muay Thai classes, and the gym was pretty small. Like everybody was very tight, and everybody kind of trained in all the classes. And everybody that would do the Muay Thai classes would also do the Jiu-Jitsu. And eventually I just started getting trolled into doing Jiu-Jitsu. And they're like, well, you're coming from Muay Thai, like you need to come for this too. And I'm like, no, I don't really want to. I don't really I don't know anything about that. I hated Jiu-Jitsu. I hated it when I first started. It was just so awkward because I was so used to being on my feet and doing like very different movement patterns. And yeah, I just kept getting made fun of for not training. And then eventually I just kept training and now I love it.
They bullied you into loving jiu-jitsu.
That's pretty much exactly what happened.
And
And
then, and then you're
honestly, it's
doing,
kind of funny now too because I'm like a little bit of the opposite too, where
yeah.
I love training Muay Thai, but I really enjoy training Jiu-Jitsu. Sometimes I have to force myself to do a little bit of Muay Thai because I'd rather just be grappling.
Yeah, I mean, your fights definitely speak to your jiu-jitsu skills that and then to doing Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu and then the next logical step is MMA, I guess.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's kind of what happened is, I had been training both. I had been competing separately in Jiu-Jitsu and in Muay Thai. And then eventually I'm like, hey, like let's put this together, let's go ahead and try out and see what I can do in MMA. And kind of for the same reason too, all my teammates at the time were competitors. Everybody fought, and I was like, well, I guess like I want to fight too, like I want to fit in.
You
And here I
got
am.
you got peer pressured into becoming one of the best prospects in your division in the world, so that's
There you
great.
go. Crazy a little peer pressure will do.
So what can fans expect from the way you'll fight, the way your fights will go in one?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as you can see, like in a lot of my matches so far, they have been really grappling heavy, but I feel like that's also just been a little bit of how it's gone. I do prefer doing jujitsu, and I feel like I do have really strong jujitsu, really strong wrestling, all these different things. But I've done Muay Thai for a really long time too, and it's something that I really enjoy. I've competed at the EFMA World Championships, and so I think what the fans can expect is just for me to like have a hard pace. And I really don't care where the fights go. I mean, obviously, I always have a little bit of a game plan based on the opponent. But I mean, we could be striking, we could be wrestling, we could be doing grappling. I could be on the ground, like on my back, I could be on top. It doesn't matter. Like they can just expect me to push the pace and like look to finish at all times.
Awesome. Obviously you're new to the promotion, but I can't imagine that you've not thought about what it'd be like to challenge, for the belt, the top fighters. Denise Zamboanga, the champ, just pulled out of her upcoming title defense,
Oh, I just
actually.
saw this like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I just added that question in like 10 minutes ago. But I mean, how do you match up with top fighters like herself, Ayaka Miura, and how soon do you see yourself fighting for a belt?
I mean, I'm hoping I can do it as fast as possible. That I can, prove myself to one as being like a top five prospect, all these different things. But I think I'd match up well. I think that so I live in Colorado Springs, and so this is like Olympic City. A lot of my teammates are really, really good wrestlers. I train all over at Betterman Elite quite a bit, and they run one of like the best wrestling programs in the country for like kids, high school kids, young kids. They have a lot of people from like the world team that come through there as well. Deanna Betterman, Joe Betterman, really great wrestlers. So more of the story is like I feel like I have a lot of experience going against those high level wrestlers like the Japanese girls. Denise, I think, is a little bit more of a rounded fighter compared to some of those other girls, but I think in some ways that's even like better for me, right? Because I don't have to like hyper focus on like one thing to prepare for. I can just go out there and be the better fighter. So yeah, I think honestly, any of those matchups are ones that I'd be willing to take at any time. And then I also think that they're going to be really entertaining fights as well.
Awesome. And obviously, I have to also ask you about your upcoming opponent, Macarena Aragon. I mean, she came into one with the same record as you, but she's on one or two since, lost a couple submissions. Are you expecting to dominate her on the ground?
Yeah, honestly, I think so. I mean, I don't think that she's like a bum by any means. I actually, I kind of, it's like a little bit one of my my pet peeves when like fighters kind of like talk down on their opponent. It's like, why are you
Yeah.
fighting him? Like,
Yeah.
you really think that?
Yeah.
No, I think she's a great opponent. I think she has good jiu-jitsu, but I think in the end, I'm just more experienced there. I've competed a ton in jiu-jitsu, and so I'm really comfortable in the scramble. I'm really comfortable on top, and I think that I'm going to be able to outposition her and just like outclass her there.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about your jiu-jitsu career also. I mean, I know you competed there. Do you intend, like, one championship obviously has multiple different sports under the banners. If the opportunity comes up as you progress, do you intend to do so, like compete in their submission grappling, or you just want to focus on MMA?
No, I'll do anything. Yeah, like you
Yeah.
give me a Muay Thai fight, I'll take that. Give me a Jiu-Jitsu fight, I'll take that too. Like it, yeah, whatever they want, I'm down.
Awesome. Um, yeah, so in your last fight, you won with what could be called a triangle Americana, kind of.
Yeah.
Americanas and Kimuras are a rare treat, and like I love those. They're so underused these days. More submissions from like the 2000s in MMA. But do you have like a special affinity for that type of joint submission, or was it just the right sub at the right time?
Yeah, I think it was honestly the right sub at the right time. You know, I was in the triangle. She was doing a good job defending, so I'm like, I have this arm. And so,
Nice.
so I think that that is again something that makes me like pretty dangerous is that I'll find subs almost anywhere. You know, I don't have like one thing that like if I get here I can finish like and this is the only thing I look for. You know, it's like I have so many different places that I can like finish the fight from.
Yeah, quick on your feet or quick on the ground. Um, Yeah, no, and so you'll be flying to Bangkok for this fight. I mean, have you ever been to that part of the world? I mean, you train Muay Thai, but from Colorado Springs, obviously, are you excited to do some sightseeing, or is all the time going to be spent training, making weight, and all that?
No, yeah, well, we're definitely gonna take a little bit of time. I mean, I'm sure like leading up to the fight will be a little bit more chill, but I still want to explore a little bit, you know, just stay moving around. And weight's gonna be easy, so I don't really think that that's gonna be too much of a stressor for me. Anyway, I'm like so close to weight. I've been doing a really good job with my diet, but then we're also gonna take a few days after the trip to stay and go explore food and all that stuff. So no, I'm really excited for it. I've never been there, and like any other fighter, I like to eat. So.
Yeah, yeah. After you make the weight, after
Yeah.
that's all done, it's definitely yeah. Um, back to grappling actually. You won a no-gi worlds competition before, right? I have that right? Yeah.
Yes,
Do
that
you have
brown belt.
any dream grappling matches or goals? I mean, yeah, grappling matches or goals in jiu-jitsu even outside of one championship because one has allowed fighters to go and, do grappling outside of their, promotion.
Yeah, honestly, like continuing to compete in jiu-jitsu is really important to me. I think that one, it's like so important for my development as a fighter as well. That I do want to keep doing that. If the if things just line up correctly time-wise, I definitely want to keep training or excuse me, I definitely want to keep competing in the IBJJF, whether it's going to be for like Nogi Worlds, Nogi Pans, Nogi Nationals, just whatever's kind of available. I want to keep testing myself there. So far, I haven't had a huge amount of opportunity to like jump into some of those like those tournaments at black belt. I've only done like maybe like a few. So that's definitely something I want to keep doing or whether it's ADCC trials, all those different things. Just so that I can like go out there and improve and then also just kind of test myself against the best in specifically sport jujitsu and then carry that knowledge back to my MMA fights.
Cool. So, okay, two things. First, when did you get your black belt?
It's been about a year.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I think like a year and like a few months or something like that.
And then, so jujitsu, obviously you started there in a way, Muay Thai and jujitsu, but now it sounds like you see it now as like a way to sharpen your tools for MMA. And MMA is like, the ultimate goal. Not that you don't still love jujitsu and want to do things in it, but jujitsu is mostly a way to get better at MMA.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where like obviously I want to win. I go out there with the mindset of like I'm here to win, to put on a good performance, but it's also one of those things like if I find myself in a really bad position in a really bad position or submission in a jiu-jitsu match, like I'm not going to fight it forever. It's like, man, I will take losing right now to like fight 2 months down the road, like I'm not going to risk getting like catastrophically injured for a jiu-jitsu match when my ultimate goal is to fight.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Whereas, I mean, if you're only doing jujitsu, like you're gonna fight like hell.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, this is a bit of a weird question because everyone has the same goal, right? To be the champ, but I still like to ask it because some fighters have unique sort of goals that they've set for themselves. What are your goals for your career in one championship?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the end, it is kind of like you said, like being the champ. But and I think for a lot of reasons too, it's just to kind of prove to myself that I can. I started training meaningfully and competing like as an adult. I was like 23 years old maybe when I started doing jiu-jitsu, and then like 25 or 26 when I started like actually like fighting all the time. And so like having not really been like a lifelong athlete, I think in some ways like going out there and being the champ is like awesome because then you're like know that you're like the best in the world. But then it's also I think just trying to like prove to myself that I can do this and prove to other people that like like it doesn't matter like when you start competing, when you start training, like you can still achieve your goals if you actually just put the time in. It doesn't really matter. Especially right now, we have so many really great fighters and competitors that are coming up that have been training since children and they're like really tough. And yes, they're going to bring a slew of experience and knowledge to those competitions, to those fights. But like if you just do the right thing, then it kind of doesn't matter. Like you can still be competitive.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great about martial arts is like it's so, I mean, it's about self-improvement in a lot of ways, just
Yeah.
making yourself the best version physically, mentally, everything.
Yeah, and I do a lot of coaching, at my gym as well. And so I think that for that reason too, it's kind of cool, I think, to maybe to be able to like inspire some of my students that like, man, it kind of doesn't matter like where you started, like where you end is totally up to you, you know? And so I think that's kind of cool.
I think coaching from fighters I've talked to, coaching also definitely helps with the cerebral aspect, like just
Yeah.
noticing things in there, adapting to what your opponent's doing. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, when I very first started coaching, I was like, "Oh man, like this is actually a lot harder than I thought because I have to like, why do I do this that way?" And I have to
Yeah.
like kind of like think through it so that I can explain it. And then yes, and then like, when I'm actually watching people, I've had to like learn how to watch their footwork, how to watch their hand placement. Like, why is it you're not able to do this technique? Oh, I see now. You're like weight shifted a little bit over here. And so yes, I can definitely use that experience and knowledge when I'm fighting as well to kind of start picking people apart. So yes, it has been very helpful.
It's really interesting. My job, like analyzing stuff, it's, we have to do a lot of thinking, coaching also, but fighters, a lot of it is just instinct or drilling. Like you're drilled to do the thing, but then you have to, yeah, it's really interesting. Do you have any dream fights, like just in general, like for your MMA career?
As of right now, I don't think I have any specific like dream fights. I think I'm like thinking about it very logically. Like, okay, like who's probably going to be like next on the roster? Like, who's going to be someone that like one matches me up with? And so I've kind of been like mentally kind of going through that a little bit. But I don't think I have like anyone that like I'm
Okay.
like love
Yeah.
to fight them right now, you know?
Um, so I wanted to ask also, what are your inspirations in sport? I mean, you got into it late and you said you barely knew what jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai were, so I don't know if you had any experience with MMA before that either, but as you've been watching as an adult training, are there fighters that you watch to get inspiration from that you might learn from, some of their tricks?
Let me think about that. Let's see.
Or just your favorite fighters to watch, honestly?
Let me think. Sorry, I have to
It's okay.
think about that a little bit. Yeah, no, honestly, there's like so many good fighters. And honestly, I think a lot of the ones that actually really inspire me too are a lot of like even like my teammates, like I do a lot of training or I did when I lived in California with like Tabitha Ritchie.
Oh yeah.
And I think that like she is so awesome. Like she's like one first of all, she's like the nicest person in the fucking world, but then goes out and fight and is like a fucking monster. And just kind of like having like a really hard pace like her, being able to just like stay super aggressive. I think that that's been really cool to be able to watch. I think that there's like a lot of really like fun and like funny people to watch, like Derek Lewis, who apparently doesn't somehow jujitsu doesn't apply to him. He'll literally be in bottom side control and just like, I'm gonna
Just
get up now.
just stand
And just
up.
literally just sits up. Um,
Classic.
things like that I think are always really interesting to watch. And then like the Cosmots of the world that can just control people and hold them down, I think are really inspiring for like being able to like see maybe even like a further level of like how I can use like my own jiu-jitsu, my own like pressure style already to like be able to grow. And then I do look at a lot of like this like the strikers and like the UFC too and try to be able to like mimic a little bit and like maybe take inspiration from their ability to like be really flowy and things like that.
Yeah. And now you're fighting in, I mean, I don't know how much Muay Thai you watch, but you're fighting in one of the best, with some of the best strikers on earth in one championship as your peers. And I've seen your striking improve a lot over your three pro fights, especially your body knees are you're pretty brutal to some of these girls that you've been fighting. But if you could train with or emulate the style of one fighter, one striker in one championship, who would it be?
Oh man, who would that be? Um, Man, I don't think I have a good answer for you. And honestly, part of it's also that I'm really bad with names, especially like the Thai names, because they're
Yeah.
so foreign, that I have a lot of trouble remembering them. But I do think that what I've seen from a lot of the fighters in one championship is that they do a really good job of like always filling space. You know, like there's a little bit of a break and they're filling that space. There's a little bit of a lull, like they're already filling it. And it kind of doesn't matter where they get to. And sometimes like the scrambles and like the striking is that they're throwing a knee, they're throwing an elbow, they're throwing a jab out there. And I think that that's something that I've taken a lot of inspiration from, where I've been trying to work on that in my striking too, where I'm not just getting used to like this rhythm of like I hit, get hit, back up. You know, and instead it's like I hit, I take a little angle, I hit again, right? And it's always there's always a threat there that kind of keeps people like on their toes.
That's yeah, one of the when I trained, one of the best things that I heard was be first and third. You know, punch, slip,
Oh
punch
yeah.
again. Yeah.
I've never heard that, but I like that.
Yeah. All right, almost closing us out, but I want to get people to know you better. What are some of your hobbies? What do you like doing in your free time when you're not fighting?
Well, as we were talking about earlier, I have 5 dogs.
Yeah.
So I hang out with my dogs a lot. We go like hiking and things like that. Colorado
Ooh,
Springs is like
yeah.
it's a very beautiful, very scenic area. So there's like, yeah, there's a lot of really cool hikes, a lot of really cool parks that you can go to. I recently took up like laser engraving and stuff too. I have like a laser engraving machine that I make like little like arts and crafts with, things like that. Cooking, things, honestly, just kind of things at home, honestly.
That's
Trying new
awesome.
restaurants if I'm not dieting. That's a big
Ooh,
one.
nice. My childhood best friend actually lives in Colorado Springs. I've been out there a couple times. No, I was there for like, the one championship fights. I mean, obviously the upcoming one got canceled, but if they I imagine you would love if one championship came back to Colorado again, huh?
Yes. I mean, I was hoping to get on the one that was gonna be, what was that, in June?
It was
June or
gonna be
something? The
June
one
or
that got
August.
canceled.
Yeah. I
There
think it
was
was
one
gonna
that
be
got,
August this month,
yes,
actually.
yes, you're right, August. That one I was really hoping to do that, and just because I mean, then I can like fight in my home. But I think as of right now, they do have it scheduled. The next one is going to be in June of 2026, and so yeah, I'm definitely keeping my eye on that one because that would be amazing. Because I have so many friends, so much family here, be able to fight like an hour away from my home gym, and then my family's from Kansas, which is only like a 7-hour drive from here as well. So for that reason, that would also be really great.
My parents are actually from, or they lived in Kansas. But anyway, maybe we can do this again in person sometime during if
Yeah.
I come out for the fights. But to close this out, I just want to hear your prediction. I mean, how do you defeat Macarena Aragon next Friday?
I think it's definitely gonna be with a sub. I'm honestly a little bit indifferent as to whether or not that's gonna be from top or bottom. I hope it's from top. I hope I don't get thrown on my ass. But even if I do, it's all right. I'll find a submission from that.
First round?
Second.
Second. Okay. You heard it here first. Submission, second round. Put all your money on it, your whole bankroll, everybody. All right.
Yeah,
Great
we
to
got to
meet
get at least
you.
it's the second round because I want to fight a little bit. Actually, it's kind of
Yes.
funny when I was fighting Stephanie Hernandez. When I got to that triangle, there was actually like a split moment that I was like, do I want to finish this or do I just want to keep fighting? And I'm like, no, that's stupid.
Yeah, I can't play with your food, but I've heard that from a lot of prospects who just blow everyone out in 1 minute or whatever, that you want to get more cage time, build the
Yeah.
experience. So it would be good. But good luck, big promotion debut, and can't wait to see it next
Thank
Friday,
you.
Amazon Prime Video. Everyone tune in.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate the time. Have a great one.
Take care.